But if he showed any interest, boy allergy. How did you know? Did I talk about my boy allergy? I had such a boy allergy when I was younger. I literally hated boys. I liked boys until they liked me back, and I was like, ugh! I hate him. It was so weird. Like would have the biggest crush on some guy, and then we would do this whole back and forth on AIM, and I was like, I like somebody. He's like, wait, I like somebody too. And I was like, wait, what's she like? And he's like, wait, you tell me. Like, what's he like? And I was like, well, I know him pretty well. We're like friends. But I don't know if he likes me back. And he's like, same here. Like I'm, it'd be like this, we're dancing around. And then I was like, just say it. Like, just say who it is. And then he'd be like, you tell me first. And I was like, I don't know. Like, you tell me first, and then I'll tell you. And he's like, okay, what if it was you? And then I'd be like, oh, fuck, no. And I'd be like, then don't tell me. Don't tell me if it's me. But it would be hit. Like, I would have literally had a crush on him until that moment. Then he tells me it's me. And then I just ran. I was like, no. And I just lost all feelings. Tell me how that makes any sense. So then I'd tell my mom this. And I was like, Mom, I don't understand what's happening to me. I like a guy, and then he likes me back, and then I really don't want him anymore. And then my mom's like, oh yeah, that's called being allergic to boys. And she's like, don't worry, I have that too. So like, it's just a boy allergy. She like explained it to me as being allergic to boys. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I get that. That's me. So I was like, yeah, I just don't like allergic to boys. In my mind, that like I knew it wasn't like a physical allergy, but like the way my mom just said it so definitively is like, oh, this is a normal reaction to things. Yes, exactly. I liked the chase, but once I had it, I was like, ugh, back up. No. Mm-mm. So it was really weird. And that finally went away in like high school, I guess, late high school, when I met my first boyfriend, or when I dated my first boyfriend. He did a number to me. That boy. He did a number to me. It was a problem because like I had really low self-esteem back then, and I think it works because like when you date somebody you think is out of your league, you make so many excuses to keep them. Like you think like, and they kind of make you feel like they're out of your league still, like they let that like kind of narrative flow. So when I thought, in my mind I was dating somebody who was way too good for me, so I would just let him do whatever and flirt with whoever, and he would just be like, yeah, that's me, I'm just a flirty guy, it's just who I am. And I was like, no, I get that, sorry, I'm just not used to I'm not used to it. And I know, listen, when you're 17 and like the popular guy in school comes up to you and like shows you attention, you ignore all the red flags. Like I was so insecure. I can't tell you how insecure I was. Like I couldn't make eye contact with people. I was like, dude, if I look at somebody, they're going to think how ugly she is. That's all I would remember thinking. I was like, if I look at somebody, he's just going to be like, ew. So I would look down all the time. I was just like, it's just like when you have low self-esteem, it's just how you think about yourself. And so, when somebody that was like, was in my mind, just like way out of my league, showed me attention, I was like, whoa. And he was like, you're so pretty. And I was like, what? And he's like, you have really pretty eyes. And I was like, what? Especially being Asian and like, I don't know, just being told like, everyone's like, I hated my eyes. I hated them. It shows in my Photoshop tutorial. Like that's where deep insecurities came out. I did not like it. And so when he told me I had pretty eyes, I was like, you're lying to me. And he's like, I'm not kidding. You do. And he made me, while being like the worst ever, he did make me for the first time ever feel confident. He like told me, he showered me with compliments along with showering all the other girls with compliments. I didn't know about this until later. But while we were together and not in front of other girls, he would shower me with so many compliments. Like it was much. I was like, what? He's like, you are so beautiful. I was like, what? He's like, you're just the most beautiful girl. And then I trapped him one time and I was like, you're lying to me. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, you don't think anyone in the entire world is prettier than me? And he's like, no. And I was like, not one woman is prettier than me. I was like, you're lying. And he's like, babe, you're literally the prettiest girl. I was like, name one girl who's prettier than me, please, please, so I know you're not lying. And he's like, okay, fine. Jessica Alba. And I was like, you think Jessica Alba is prettier than me? And I legitimately started crying. I'm not kidding. I started crying. He's like, what? Why are you crying? And I was like, because like you're not actually supposed to answer that. And he's like, you literally wouldn't stop until I answered it. And I was like, yeah, but you're not supposed to actually say somebody. He's like, I don't understand you. And I am on his side now in hindsight, right? But in the moment, like I trapped him, and then I'm sure there was a way he could have passed. Okay, but he failed. No, and yes, because Jessica Alba is gorgeous. So I was like, what? You actually said someone who's prettier than me. And so then I was like, everything you say is a lie, because you always tell me I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. And he's like, and I mean it. Like, to me, you're the most beautiful girl. And I was like, what do you mean to me? I just find every which way to like get at him, right? Like he's like, I don't want to be with anyone else more than you. I would not like, yes, like maybe I said Jessica Alba is prettier than you, but I would want to be with you more than Jessica Alba. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. I was sobbing probably at that point. Jessica Alba is the OG fine shit, okay? She is. She still is. She still is gorgeous. Okay, did you see her? I saw her at Bad Bunny's. She was on the set. I was like, that's Jessica Alba. I know that bitch. Okay, she made me cry. I could recognize her anywhere. She's stunning. Who is Jessica Alba? Nah, she's like, she was like, I mean, she's so beautiful. But she's like, yeah, she's literally the OG fine. That is literally how I would say it. Everybody, like, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. Hillary Duff. Oh, I saw them. So anyway, how did I get here? He was toxic to me, but I was toxic to him. Like, I can't just say that he was the bad guy in all of this. Like, clearly I had some issues. Like, but he did make me feel beautiful. When I was so insecure that I couldn't even look at people. I couldn't make eye contact with a guy because I was like, I'm ugly. And so I was toxic. I was a bully. I had my moments, okay? But I really have changed. But yeah, you kind of say some crazy stuff in relationships, you know? You see people airing out their relationships and stuff, and I'm like, damn, if you aired out my 17-year-old relationship, like, there's some crazy fucking we said to each other. I don't even know anymore, but like, I just know we said some crazy stuff. Your emotions are like boom, 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 boom. You love each other so much, and then there's so much insecurity, and then there's jealousy, and there's fights, and you push each other, and you're like, I'm gonna break up with you if you do this. You're always threatening to break up with each other. I wish I had transcripts. I wish I could print out everything I said to my ex and everything he said back to me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sometimes I go back because I have transcripts from Facebook. Sometimes when I'm feeling like real weird, I go back and scroll through our old Facebook messages because I wanted to see what a sicko he was. But then I said some mean stuff back. You know, it was sad because I forgot like I don't know. I said some mean stuff back. Pretty mean stuff. There's these stickers that were like these blobs, and they're like, bleh. They have like tongues and eyeballs, and they're really squishy, and they like have like little feet, and they're like red and yellow and orange. And I would always send one of those stickers after everything. And I'd be like, yeah, but you ignored me, blah, blah, blah. And I'd put a sad blob. And I was like, but I miss you. Crying blob. And he's like, and I'm like, how are you? Happy blob. Like big emojis. And then he'd send the blobs back. It was weird. It was weird. Okay, but I was also 17. We had like a little on and off relationship, and then, you know, then he Then he dated my best friend, and then I lost her, and then I started hanging out with, and then, well, that was good for me at the end of the day because that's how I met. That's why I even applied for like the whole program that I did, which is what introduced me to my friend Raymond, who's shown me League of Legends, and the rest is history. I never would have like put myself out there had I not gone through a breakup. I think that breakup was the hardest breakup ever. It's weird. Like I've gone through like a breakup of like my engagement and of but my first breakup, like that messed me up the most because it like broke my vision of like what love was. Like when you first fall in love with somebody, you don't know anything but that, right? So it's like, oh, this is love, and you think you're going to feel that every day, and you're always going to just be in so much love with this person, and you know that like, you know, the oxytocin and all the dopamine and the, you know, and the love you feel for this person, then it, you know, the honeymoon phase ends, but that's your first honeymoon phase, and it ends, and you realize that that ends, and now you're choosing to stay with them, right? And that it gets hard, and then you start feeling other things. You see them talking to other people, and you can see them flirting with other people, and you're like, what? But and then you get mad at them, and you're like, you were talking to her like you were flirting. They're like, no, I wasn't. It's like, yes, you were. And they're like, I wasn't. And then they gaslight you, and they're like, I literally was just talking to them. And then years later, you find out that he was calling her beautiful. And oh my God, it's actually so insane. I was fully gaslit back in the day. He would like straight up deny it. And then like after we break up, I get sent all these like messages and like, oh, by the way, during your break or during when you guys broke up, he was always like messaging me this. But either way, going back, you realize that it ends, and like, but like your first love, like, dude, you know, when you fall in love with someone the first time and like everything in your mind, all the things you want to do. I was like, we're going to have a house together, and we're going to have a science room for our kid because we were both pre-med at the time. And I was like, you're going to be a doctor and I'm going to be a vet, and maybe we'll have 2 dogs, and we should have a little house, like a room, and can have all the planets. And I don't know, we would make up you dream together, and he would plug his ears all the time, and he's like, I was like, you don't like my singing? And he's like, sometimes it's a lot. I was like, okay. It was so funny. Yeah, he would plug his ears. Sometimes he'd sing with me though, and then I'd love him so much for it. He would listen to Taylor with me, which is nice. He went to the first Taylor Swift Fearless concert with me. We drove without tickets. He took me in his car, his beat up little car. I remember it was like from the 80s. And he drove us all the way to HP Pavilion, and I was frantically looking on Craigslist for tickets that were like $60. And I was calling, and I was like, hi there, I saw your Craigslist listing for the Taylor Swift concert, blah, blah, blah. And we met up with some random guy in the corner, and we got the worst seats possible, basically touching the walls on the balcony, whatever. But I saw her, and I was there. I was singing Fearless with her back in 2000. I don't even know. So, yeah, you know, we dated for 3.5 years. And all through college, I dated him. I was like so proud. I remember I was like so happy to be his girlfriend back then. I was just like, I don't know. I was like, that's my man. And so then it all ended because